Recently I went through my shelves and I took a lot of books off of them to Unhaul. The main theme throughout the majority of these books is just that they have sat on my shelf for a really long time and haven't been read. Either that or I bought them because someone recommended them to me and then decided that actually they don't really sound like something I'll want to read. So yeah, let's just get into it, shall we? First of all, I have Alice and what's it called? Red Queen by Christina Henry. This book, Alice, I received in a book box. And I read it because I was a rep for that book box at the time, and I obviously wanted to take part in discussions about it, but it really wasn't that good. I didn't rate it very highly. I think I gave it a 3 stars. I have quite a lot of thoughts on it. Maybe I should have filmed a review at the time, but I felt like it used sexual violence a lot. I don't think it used it in a acceptable way, and I don't think it was a very good retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I just don't think it was. I know it's not meant to be a proper retelling of Alice in Wonderland, but I didn't think it did the original story any justice, and Alice in Wonderland is one of my favourites, so I guess I went into it with really high expectations and they weren't met. But for some reason, my brain said, maybe it gets better, buy Red Queen. And then they were on my shelf for ages and I didn't read Red Queen anyway. So I've decided to just send them on to the charity shop where some lucky person can buy them both for cheap. This next one is called Katie by Jacqueline Wilson, and I bought it when I was going through a phase where I just really wanted something comforting and I could revert to my childhood for a little while, so I bought a Jacqueline Wilson book, and it was her new one at the time. And it's a retelling, a modern retelling of what Katie did, so it's probably quite good. I used to love her books anyway, but I haven't read it. It's taking up room on my shelves, so I thought I would rehome it to my cousin, who will probably enjoy it more than I would. Next we have A Song for Issy Bradley by Caris Bray. Again, this sounds like something I would enjoy, but it's been on my shelf for a long time and I haven't read it yet, and I would rather have that space for a lovely hardcover that I am going to read. It's a beautiful cover though, so it's a shame. It's really pretty. This book is about a family of Mormon faith, and that's something I'm actually really interested in. I am an atheist, I'm not religious in the slightest, but a lot of my family are, and I do like to read books about religion sometimes to try and understand a little bit more of that thinking, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't read it yet. I probably won't. It's just there because it's pretty and it deserves to be loved by someone else. Next we have the Uglies series by Scott Westerfeld. I read these a long time ago on my Kindle, I think about 5 years ago, and I enjoyed the first and second one at the time, I think, and then the other two I think were totally unnecessary. I don't think I rated any of them very highly, and I know that now if I reread them I probably wouldn't enjoy them at all, so there's no point having them. Also, my boyfriend has this exact edition of these books, so if I ever did want to reread them for some reason, I could read them in his office. I have The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and actually this is a book that I want to read, but my boyfriend really loves Brandon Sanderson, and again he has all of the books in these lovely paperback editions, so if I want to read them I can borrow his. I am rehoming Safe Haven by Nicholas Sparks. I used to read Nicholas Sparks novels quite a lot. They're very easy reads, often quite hard-hitting but easy. This one was one of my least favourite ones, although I did like the film, so I thought I would just rehome this one because it wasn't my favourite. Also heading to the charity shop is Small Island by Andrea Levy. I have read this, I read it at university. I did really like it, but I have it on my Kindle, so if I ever want to revisit it, I can't even talk. If I ever want to revisit it, I can revisit it on my Kindle. This one is one that I was torn over getting rid of. It's Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I really want to read it, but I just don't think I ever will. And it's one of the books that I bought for 50p at a book sale when I used to work for a book distributor. So it was only 50p, so it's not a huge loss to me by rehoming it before I've read it. But yeah, I really want to read it, I just don't think I ever will. Next we have You by Caroline Kepnes. Kepnes, I'm not sure. This book was quite hyped up last year, probably this time last year on BookTube, and I bought it because I thought it sounded like something I would love. I watch a lot of murder and crime documentaries, I know, I'm weird. And this book is about a stalker, and it's from the perspective of a stalker talking to his victim, which is why it's called You. I thought I would love it, but I got about 10 pages in and realised that I didn't love it. The style I found quite difficult. I did find the whole you do this, you do that, I see you do this kind of dialogue quite difficult to read. It just felt quite jarring to me, and I know the whole book is supposed to make you uncomfortable, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't end well either, but I just didn't like it. And also I only got a couple of pages in, but it was really like really crude and quite vulgar, and I wouldn't describe myself as a prude, but I do have certain lines that I don't really like to cross, especially in books, and I just didn't like the style, I guess, and I didn't really like the language, so I've decided to send it on its way. Next is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. Apparently this is really good. My boyfriend's read the whole trilogy, but I've had this one on my shelf for years, and I haven't read it yet. And again, this is one of those that my boyfriend has the books. If I want to read them, I will borrow his. Next I have The Somnambulist by Essie Fox. I bought this a long time ago, probably a couple of years ago, and I've tried to read it about 5 times, and every time I get a couple of chapters in and then I just DNF it. Something about the beginning that's just really boring, and I just can't get through it. I just can't get into it. We have this beast called The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. Again, this is one that I picked up when I used to work at a book distributor for like £1. I thought it sounded like something I would really like, and I still do think it sounds like something I'll really like. However, I'm reading quite a few series right now, and this is the first book in a very long series. Every book is very long, and I just don't think I have the time to dedicate to it right now. I don't need another Game of Thrones length series in my life right now, so I'm passing this one on. Next is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. Blah 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 blah. Next is Across the Universe by Beth Revis. Oh my gosh, I can't talk at all.